Death Gun, you're still one awesome badass. I mean, good God. Death Gun, you're living up to the name. I really love that. Anyway, there were some moments in this episode where I just said, really? Did they do that? Come on. And other times where I'm just saying, oh my God, yes, that is awesome. And another time where I'm just like, huh, that just happened. Okay. But anyway, to get the minor stuff out of the way, Asuna finally gets to the hospital. You know, she sees Kirito and she finally sees what's going on, who he's fighting. His name has been revealed, but Sturban is German for death. So of course that matches what he's doing. And apparently there's this mystery member or mystery contestant that's still within the game that they don't know about. So I'm wondering who this person is, if it's even important. Maybe he's just some random guy who's hiding out, camping out, waiting. This is a good strategy. I'm just gonna wait until they turn the corner and I'll shoot him. Boom, boom, boom. Or maybe their theory is correct, that Death can kill someone else while they were waiting in the cave. And it's a possibility that Pale Rider and Shinon live in the same area. Otherwise, you know, the one person would have to travel a lot just to get to their houses. Or maybe now it's just 10 people, because there were 10 survivors of Laughing Coffin from SAO. But it makes me question as to, were these people not arrested? I mean, sure, they're victims of the game and being trapped in there. But, their record should have shown, hey, these people legitimately killed people. You know, they really did kill people. We should probably arrest them. Put them in jail. Like, who cares if they're kids? Put them in juvie then. It's like, or something. But, yeah, apparently they're out there somewhere. And it's just like, working together to kill people, just to, or at least have that feeling again, like, I want to relive SAO. I mean, I was good there. I loved it there. I loved killing people, and I want that feeling back. So we gotta do all this complicated planning just to accomplish that. So it's like an organization. So now it's a lot bigger than Kirito just taking out one person. It's this group now. I'm like, okay, I like that. Shinon and Kirito are now, you know, out there, you know, fighting. And around this part, I couldn't really get behind it. They were fighting this guy. In fact, he was so not important, even though they, you know, talked about him so much. I don't even remember his name. All I know is that he had red hair and he was able to run really fast. And at first, when we were introduced to him, I thought, oh my God, this guy's badass. I mean, he's dodging bullets at point blank and just like, I'm guessing shooting people like, it's like, holy shit, this guy's badass. He's gonna prove to be a very difficult opponent to take on along with Death Gun. No, Shinon kills him in one shot. And that's not entirely like the writer's fault. The writing is okay because it makes sense. I mean, one good clear shot, you can take out any opponent, no matter how strong or fast they are. You know, with just one shot, boom, done. And that's kind of why I was kind of scared of this new season with Gun Gil Online. With guns, it's very difficult to make their fights between them very suspenseful, but it can be done. I mean, Trigun did it, Cowboy Bebop did it. Gunfights can be suspenseful. They can be dragged out to a very lengthy amount of time, but still, you know, exciting. But when you do it wrong, it just feels like there's really no excitement. There's no time to get invested in the fight. And, you know, we're not going to be able to actually feel anything for any of the, fighters. It's just one shot, boom, done, bye. So it's really disappointing when fights end that quickly. You know, that's why one of the reasons I actually still like Kirito is he went for the sword. I know I gave him a lot of shit for the laser sword, but that's mostly for the game. I mean, why would the game make a laser sword? I have no idea. But it does make sense why Death Gun has a sword, because he had to make it. It's a gun blade, or it's just a blade hidden inside the gun. And you had to create it, you had to form it with certain materials, and okay, that makes sense. A laser sword, I have no idea why it's in there, but making a sword, alright, I can believe that. But yeah, I mean, I like that whole getting close and just actually, you know, seeing your enemy face to face, you know. it's kind of a good thing. I mean, it has some sort of feeling of honor and dignity to it. I don't know, maybe it's up to opinion as to what kind of fights you like more, but for me it's sword battles. And I will say, the one moment that just made me like go huh was when Kirito was looking up at the sky and he saw the moon, and it looked like Pacman. The moon looked like Pacman. Now I'm wondering, since it's still the future, but it's still a video game. I mean, and all video games at one point have Easter eggs created by the developers. So I'm wondering if that's supposed to be an Easter egg within their own game about that Pac-Man does exist in this world, and one of the developers like, I love Pac-Man, I'm gonna make the moon look like Pac-Man. Waka waka. Like, okay, it's Pac-Man's in this game. Cool, whatever. But yeah, it was kind of a little funny side note. Maybe it's not Pac-Man, it's just whatever, they try to make a moon look destroyed, but it still came out like Pac-Man. But now we find out that the reason Kirito, or maybe no one can remember the Disturbance real name, was because they never bothered. It's like, I don't want... They go back to the flashback and saying it's like... the person who was arrested walked by Kirito, and Kirito just said... In fact, the guy didn't even say anything. Kirito just immediately said, I don't want to know your name. Was he about to offer it? I have no idea. He just said, I don't want to know your name. And even the guy didn't look like he was happy or smiling. He just seemed like confused, like, I never even offered it, you crazy lunatic. It was like, okay, Kirito, you don't want to know his name. Why? I have no idea, but you just don't want to know his name. But yeah. Now, one thing that made me question as to whether this was a mistake or not was when Death Gun revealed what his sword was made out of. Like, I made this out of the strongest metal in this game. A spaceship armor metal? I think that's what he called it. A spacecraft armor metal. That's what he made the sword out of. So now I am questioning as to whether it was a good idea not to give us any insight into the lore behind the game world. And when I really think about it, it's not just this season, it's last season too. I mean, they didn't give us much lore in SAO. I mean, the scenery was beautiful, the monsters were creative, but it also made you wonder, what's the story behind this place? Is there like a kingdom? Is there some sort of system, or is it like some kind of lore behind it? Anything we can build on? No? Okay. And then I remember that the elf game, AFO, that one actually had more lore behind it than these two games. And it just makes me wonder, is that some form of favoritism? Like the creator loves elves so much that he's willing to go through the time to give us detail on their, their kind of like class system and the separation of the different species of elves and all that. All that's good stuff. But when it comes to a futuristic steampunk world with guns, or a fantasy land with swords and minotaurs, stuff like that, it's like, nah, that's not interesting enough for me. I want elves, nothing but elves. It's a little bit of lore is good to introduce into your story, especially if you're gonna create an entirely new world. That's why, as much as I love this world that they created for GGO, I'm probably not going to remember too much because you didn't give me much to remember about it, except the fact that the rules in the tournament that is you can only use guns. Well, a sword too, I guess, but mostly it's guns. Okay, it's a world where you use guns. Is that it? Whatever, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, this was a good episode. Again, for Death Gun mostly, because he was just more badass than ever. It's just as dark and menacing. It's like, oh yeah, Death Gun, you're still awesome. You're still an awesome villain. I want to see more of you. Disappointing fight between Shinon and, again, very fast red-headed guy. I don't even remember his name because the show obviously doesn't care about him either. And Kirito just out of nowhere saying, I don't want to know your name, even though you didn't try to offer it. Okay, bye. But yeah, I mean, it was still a fun episode. I liked it. But either way, I still don't know where it's gonna go. Now that there's a possibility of 10 death guns out there, so like, shit, I mean, is this the whole season is gonna be nothing but hunting down death guns in different games? Actually, like, game jumping for every different death gun? Huh, that actually be kind of fun. Alright, let's see where that goes. But either way, yeah, good episode. Can't wait for the next one. Till then, I'm Tony Dragon. Bye-bye.